Okay. So you put your stuff in there, and then you kind of hold it together.
You forgot the cubes.
Uh-oh, this is... Huh?
You forgot the cube numbers.
Oh, I did, didn't I? Felt like it was weird. Okay.
Last time I thought that dippy stuff was something we're supposed to eat. You
Oh,
know,
that.
not a
That's right, you
condiment.
did.
And
I think you put it on a salad, didn't you, which is just as good.
Um,
Okay, so you want a little end here so you can kind of roll this over, and you kind of, see how you roll it with that? And you want to get the end under there. It's really good. That's the first part of making sure it's really good.
I might try this sometime.
I saw a book on making sushi over at the Arsenal.
If you see it done in person and then you get a book, it's so much better. Because I remember years ago when I was trying to make it for the first time, you know, this whole deal with the using this, it wasn't really hard. It's hard to grasp until I actually figured it out. Actually, I figured it out. So you roll it over and go like that. And you want to make sure, like this actually came out a little bit, so you want to make sure it's all nice and tight, and then this mat really tightens it up in there. Okay, and then when you get to the end, you do the water again. Be careful about getting these things too wet, because if you get them too wet or wait too long when you finish rolling it, what happens is it just gets all mushy, and then it's hard. And you want to let it sit just for a minute. You want to make sure the end gets sealed really good. And then you just kind of go fast so it doesn't break apart. See how that kind of sometimes when stuff comes out, it's prettier.
What's your sauce there?
So wasabi, you serve sushi with wasabi, ginger, and some soy sauce of some kind.
Oh, so that yellowish one is ginger?
That's ginger and some rice vinegar, and this is wasabi that I blended up from a wasabi.
And that's soy? Is that soy? Wasabi, is that soy?
The soy is...
What is wasabi?
Wasabi is actually, real wasabi I think is kind of a root vegetable, but my youngest son is like, he loves looking stuff up and facts and stuff, online. So he Googled it, and he said that in America, 50% of our wasabi is actually horseradish. That wasabi itself, that root, is expensive, and you have to import it. So most of the American stuff is horseradish, and if it's a really good wasabi, you'll have a mix of horseradish and wasabi, and if it's super good, and you imported it, you can have 100% wasabi.
So do you just put a little dab of that on the end of that?
You just stick it, there's different ways of doing it. Like my son thinks that the correct way is you get a little bowl and you mix up the soy, the ginger, and the wasabi. Me personally, I like to stick the ginger on there, the wasabi on there, squirt it with some of that, or pour some soy, and then eat it that way. So I'm not really into the technicalities of the correct way of doing it.
I'm not a big fan of wasabi.
Yeah, it's spicy.
It's a required requirement.
Yeah.
It tastes better if you mix the soy sauce.
I need a clay.
I like just a little dab, just barely anything on there.
I don't really use.
I love wasabi. Wasabi, I love it.
I don't even really use soy sauce all that
You want
much.
somebody else to try? Can you teach them?
Well, I don't know how that would be with gloves and
They could eat it themselves.
But you guys can see what's done and, practice at home. See this thing too? You got like a shiny side and you got like a rough side. You want to make sure that the shiny side is down and then the rough side is here. Okay, some more. Avocado.